The first thing that hit him was the blood. Not the dramatic kind you see in movies, just a thin, dark line running down her forehead, mixing with rainwater and disappearing into the collar of her uniform. Still, it was enough to make his stomach drop. "Damn it," he muttered, already pulling his truck to the shoulder. Evan Carter was late. Again. His 6-year-old was probably staring out the daycare window right now, wondering why his dad was always the last one to show up. Evan knew that guilt well. It sat on his chest most days. But when he saw the police cruiser half-skewed across the road, hazard lights blinking like a quiet SOS, he didn't even think. He stopped. Instinct. Reflex. Whatever you call it. He grabbed his jacket and jogged toward the car. The female cop was standing outside the driver's side, one hand pressed to her head, the other braced against the door. Her posture screamed, "I'm fine," while her face said the opposite. "You okay?" Evan asked, breath slightly uneven. She looked up, and the world just stopped. His brain didn't process it at first, just froze, like someone hit pause on reality. Because that face, that damn face, he knew it. Emily fucking Reyes, his ex-girlfriend. The one who walked out of his life 3 years ago with a soft apology and zero explanation. The one who broke him in a way he still hadn't fully put back together. She stared at him too, eyes widening just a fraction before snapping into professional mode. "Sir, I'm fine," she said quickly. "Too quickly. You should get back in your vehicle. This is being handled." "Yeah, sure." "Emily?" he said, the name slipping out before he could stop it. Her jaw tightened, just a little. He remembered that look. It used to mean she was bracing herself. "Evan," she replied, flat, controlled, like she was talking to a stranger. Silence stretched between them, awkward and heavy and loaded with shit neither of them wanted to unpack on the side of a wet road. "You're bleeding," he said finally, nodding toward her head. She brushed her fingers against her forehead, looked at the blood, then shrugged. "Just a scrape. Car hydroplaned. I clipped the guardrail." "That's not nothing," he said. "You look dizzy." "I said I'm fine." Same old Emily, stubborn as hell. Rain drizzled harder, tapping against the cruiser. Evan glanced inside the car, airbags deployed, front end dented. "Yeah, not exactly a love tap." "You got backup coming?" he asked. She hesitated. "Just a second too long." "They're on the way," she said. "You don't need to stay." But he was already staying. He didn't know why. Maybe it was the blood. Maybe it was unfinished business. Or maybe it was the fact that every night for 3 years, some small part of him wondered if she ever thought about him. "You shouldn't be alone right now," he said. "At least sit down." Her eyes met his again. This time something cracked through the badge and uniform and authority. "You still tell people what to do," she said quietly. "And you still pretend you don't need help." He shot back. For a moment, she almost smiled. Almost. Then she swayed. Evan moved without thinking, catching her before she could fall. And as he held her there, rain, blood, memories crashing together, one thought slammed into him hard. Helping her was about to drag every buried feeling back to the surface. And he had no idea if he was ready for that hell. Emily pulled away from him almost immediately, like the contact burned. "I'm fine," she said again, firmer this time, stepping back and steadying herself against the cruiser. "I just lost my balance." Evan didn't buy it. Not for a second. He knew her tells, the way she avoided eye contact, the way her shoulders squared like armor. Same Emily, just with a badge now. "Yeah, okay," he said, still not leaving. She let out a slow breath, annoyed but clearly too tired to fight him. "You always were bad at following instructions, and you always hated that," he replied. They stood there in silence again. Rain, siren lights flashing off wet asphalt. It felt surreal, like some messed up reunion neither of them signed up for. Emily finally slid into the driver's seat, leaving the door open. "Sit if you're going to hover," she muttered. He took that as permission and leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed. "So," he said, because silence was worse. "You're a cop now." "Yep, didn't see that coming." She snorted quietly. "You never saw half the things coming." That landed harder than she probably meant it to. Evan looked away, jaw tight. Fair. Another pause. You still in town? She asked. Yeah, he said. Didn't really have the luxury of disappearing. Her eyes flicked to him sharp. You stayed. Had to. She studied his face like she was piecing together something she missed. You look tired. He almost laughed. Single dad. Comes with the job. That did it. That broke her composure. Her head snapped up. Dad? Yeah, he said simply. 6-year-old. Lily. Emily's face drained of color. You have a kid? Yep. With who? She asked, and immediately looked like she regretted the question. No one, he said. It's just me. That hit her hard. He could see it in her eyes. Guilt. Shock. 100 questions she didn't know if she was allowed to ask. I didn't know, she whispered. You didn't exactly stick around to find out, he said, not angry, just honest. Silence again. He wasn't trying to hurt her, but damn, it felt good to finally say it out loud. Red and blue lights appeared in the distance, growing brighter. Backup's here, Emily said, relief obvious in her voice. 2 cruisers pulled up, rain splashing as doors opened. A male officer jogged over. Emily, you okay? He asked. I'm fine, she said automatically. Evan raised an eyebrow. The officer noticed him. You a witness? The cop asked. No, Evan said. Just stopped to help. Emily hesitated, then said, He's a friend. Friend. That word stung more than he expected. Paramedics arrived next. One took one look at Emily's head and shook his head. Yeah, nope. You're getting checked. Emily started to protest. Evan stepped in without thinking. He's right. You hit your head. Don't be stupid. She glared at him. You don't get to. Then she stopped, looked at him, really looked, and quietly said, Fine. As they guided her toward the ambulance, she turned back. Evan, she said, can you stay just until they're done? He didn't hesitate. Yeah, I'll stay. As the doors closed and rain kept falling, Evan realized something uncomfortable and undeniable. Seeing her again didn't hurt the way he expected. It hurt worse. The inside of the ambulance smelled like antiseptic and wet clothes. Evan stood near the open doors, hands shoved into his jacket pockets, trying not to look like he didn't belong there. Emily sat on the bench seat, a paramedic gently cleaning the cut on her forehead. She winced. Damn. Yeah, that's gonna leave a mark, the paramedic said. Small concussion, maybe. We'll know more after the scan. Emily nodded, quiet now, not arguing. That alone told Evan how shaken she really was. So, the paramedic asked casually, You family? Emily opened her mouth. Evan answered before she could. I'm someone who cares. She shot him a look, not angry, confused, softened. The medic nodded and kept working. Silence settled again. It felt heavier in here, trapped between white walls and flashing lights. Emily finally broke it. You didn't have to stay. I know, Evan said. I wanted to. She swallowed. You always did that. Show up? He asked. Yeah, she said quietly, even when I didn't make it easy. That almost made him laugh. Almost. You vanished, he said. One day you were there, next day you weren't. No explanation. No goodbye that actually meant anything. Her eyes dropped to her hands. I know. That's it? He asked. 3 years and that's all you've got? She flinched. I was scared, she said, and I made a shitty choice. Of what? He snapped. Talking. Of dragging you into my mess, she said, voice cracking just a little. Of telling you the truth. That shut him up. The paramedic stepped back. All right, we're good here. Hospital's 10 minutes out. Emily nodded. Then looked at Evan. You don't have to come. I know, he repeated, still going. The ride was quiet. Siren off now. Just road noise and the hum of the engine. You really have a daughter, Emily said after a while. Yeah. What's she like? He smiled without meaning to. Smart. Too smart. Asks a million questions. Thinks I know everything. She's lucky, Emily said softly. Am I? He asked. She met his eyes. You stepped up, he exhaled. Didn't feel like a choice. They pulled into the ER bay. Nurses swarmed, questions, lights. Emily disappeared behind a curtain. Evan waited and waited. Finally, a doctor came out. She'll be okay. Mild concussion, stitches, observation overnight. Relief hit him harder than expected. Emily emerged later, forehead stitched, eyes tired but clear. You're still here, she said. Yep. She hesitated, then said, thank you. For stopping. For everything, she said. Even after I hurt you. He studied her. The woman who once knew everything about him. The woman who left. You don't get a free pass, he said. But yeah, you're welcome. A small smile tugged at her lips. Can we talk? She asked. Not here, not tonight, just sometime. Evan thought about Lily, about bedtime stories, about a heart he'd carefully duct taped back together. Maybe, he said. We'll see. She nodded, accepting it. As he walked out of the hospital, phone buzzing with a missed call from daycare, Evan knew one thing for sure. Running into Emily wasn't an accident. It was the beginning of something he wasn't sure he could survive. Before we continue the story, let me know in the comments how you liked it and where you're watching from. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to subscribe so cannot miss the best stories. Evan barely slept that night. He lay in bed staring at the ceiling. Lily curled up beside him because she'd had a nightmare and refused to go back to her own room. Her small hand was gripping his shirt like an anchor. Safe, solid, real. Emily's face kept popping into his head anyway. The stitches, the tired eyes, the way her voice softened when she talked about Lily like she mattered. Damn it. His phone buzzed on the nightstand around 7 a.m. unknown number. He stared at it for a second, already knowing. Yeah? He answered quietly. It's me, Emily said. Her voice sounded rough. They're discharging me. Good, he said. You okay? Headache. Pride's bruised. I'll live. Silence again. They were really good at that. I was hoping we could talk, she said. Like I asked. He rubbed his face. Lily shifted but didn't wake. Coffee, he said. Public place. 1 hour. I'll take it, she said quickly. Too quickly. They met at a small diner off Main. Nothing fancy. Booths, bad coffee, perfect neutral ground. Emily walked in wearing jeans and a hoodie. No uniform, no badge. Just her. It threw him off more than seeing her hurt. You look different, she said. You too, he replied. Less intimidating. She smiled faintly. They ordered. Coffee arrived. Neither touched it. So, Evan said, why'd you leave? There it was. No warm-up, no easing in. He was done dancing around it. Emily inhaled deeply. Because I found out I was pregnant. His chest tightened. What? Not with your kid, she said quickly. Before you spiral. He exhaled hard. Okay. Continue. I didn't know how to tell you. The father wasn't someone you'd be thrilled about. And then I lost it. Miscarriage. A week later. Evan sat back, stunned. And you just disappeared? He asked. I was wrecked, she said, ashamed, scared. And yeah, I thought you'd leave if you knew. I might have, he admitted. But at least I would have known why. Tears pooled in her eyes but didn't fall. I know, I screwed up. You could have trusted me. I didn't trust myself. That one hurt in a quiet way. They sat there, the truth finally out, ugly and overdue. What about Lily? Emily asked carefully. When did she come along? Year later, Evan said. Her mom bounced before she was born. Guess we both picked winners. Emily gave a sad laugh. Guess so. You still want kids? He asked, surprising himself. She shrugged. I don't know. Life took a turn. Another pause. I'm not asking to jump back into anything, Emily said. I just didn't want to be a ghost anymore. Evan studied her. She wasn't asking for forgiveness, just honesty. I don't hate you, he said, but I don't trust you. That's fair, she said. He stood. This was necessary. But that's all it is. She nodded. Thank you for hearing me out. As Evan walked out, he felt lighter, not healed, but lighter. And yet, deep down, he knew something dangerous. Closure didn't kill feelings. It just woke them up. Evan tried to go back to normal after that. Tried being the same guy who woke up early, made dinosaur-shaped pancakes, packed Lily's lunch, and pretended he had his life fully under control. It didn't work. Emily was in his head now. Not constantly, but enough to be annoying as hell. A random song, a certain laugh from a stranger. The way Lily asked questions about police officers when they drove past one. "Daddy, do you know any cops?" Lily asked one morning. Evan nearly spilled coffee all over himself. Yeah, one. Is she nice?" He hesitated. "Yeah, she is." That should have been the end of it. It wasn't. A week later, he saw her again. This time, she was standing outside Lily's school during pickup, talking to another officer. Evan's heart did that stupid thing where it jumped first and thought later. Emily spotted him instantly. Her eyes widened, then softened. She walked over slowly, like she didn't want to spook him. "Hey," she said. "I swear this wasn't planned." "Let me guess," Evan said. "Community patrol?" "Yep." Lily tugged on his hand. "Daddy?" "Yeah, kiddo." "Why is that lady looking at us?" Emily crouched down slightly. "Hi," she said gently. "I'm Emily." Lily studied her seriously. "You're pretty." Emily blinked. "Oh, thank you." "She's blunt," Evan said. "No filter." "I like that," Emily replied. Lily looked between them. "Do you know my dad?" Emily glanced up at Evan. He nodded slightly. "Yes," she said. "I do." "Are you his friend?" Lily asked. Emily smiled carefully. "I'd like to be." Lily accepted that instantly. Kids always did. That night, Evan lay awake again, staring at the ceiling, guilt eating at him this time. Not about Emily, about Lily. Because bringing Emily back into his life meant risk. And Lily didn't deserve another adult who might disappear. 2 days later, Emily called. "I got offered a transfer," she said. Evan stiffened. "Where?" "Another city. 2 hours away." "Oh." "I turned it down," she said quickly. "For now." He closed his eyes. "Why tell me this?" "Because I'm trying to do things right," she said. For once, that scared him more than anything else. "You don't owe me updates," he said. "I know, but I want to." Silence. "Can I take you to dinner?" she asked. "Just you, no expectations." He thought about Lily asleep down the hall, about the life he built out of scraps. "One dinner," he said. "That's it." Emily smiled through the phone. He could hear it. When he hung up, Evan felt something shift. Not hope, something heavier, something that could actually matter. Dinner was a mistake, not a bad one. Worse. They met at a quiet place Emily picked. Nothing romantic, nothing trying too hard. Burgers, dim lights, music low enough to ignore. Evan showed up early, nerves buzzing like he was a teenager again, which pissed him off. He hadn't felt like this in years. Emily walked in 10 minutes later. No uniform, hair down, black jacket, jeans. She looked normal, real. And that somehow made everything more dangerous. "Hey," she said, sliding into the booth. "Hey," they ordered. Beer for him, soda for her, small choices, big weight. "So," Emily said, fingers tracing the edge of her glass. "How's Lily?" He relaxed a bit. "Good. She lost her second tooth yesterday. Left it under her pillow with a note asking the tooth fairy for a unicorn." Emily laughed. Really laughed. "Ambitious. She takes after me." Conversation flowed easier than he expected. Work stories, her academy days, his screwed-up attempts at balancing deadlines and bedtime routines. It felt normal, too normal. Then Emily said, "I should tell you something." His chest tightened. "Go on." "I didn't just leave because of the pregnancy," she said. "There was another reason." Of course there was. I was offered a fast-track program, she continued. Out of state, undercover work, dangerous stuff. They made it clear relationships wouldn't survive it. And you decided for both of us, Evan said quietly. She nodded. Yeah, I did. That's a pattern, he said. I know. Their food arrived, steam rising between them like a barrier. I'm not asking you to trust me, Emily said. I'm asking you to let me earn it. Evan took a bite, tasted nothing. I don't know how to do that with Lily involved, he said. Emily didn't argue. Then don't. Not yet. That surprised him. Really? He asked. She nodded. I'll take whatever pace you set. That night, when they stood outside, awkward and unsure, she didn't lean in, didn't touch him, just looked at him. Thank you for giving me tonight, she said. He hesitated, then hugged her. Brief, careful. She inhaled sharply like she'd been holding her breath for years. Driving home, Evan felt conflicted as hell. He wasn't falling back into old habits. He was walking into something new, carrying old scars, and that was scarier. Things didn't explode after dinner. They also didn't magically fix themselves, which, honestly, felt more real. Emily didn't push. She didn't show up unannounced or flood his phone with messages. She checked in, sometimes a text, sometimes a call, always respectful, always giving him space to breathe. And damn it, that's what made it harder. Evan found himself smiling at his phone like an idiot when her name popped up, then feeling guilty about it 5 seconds later. Lily noticed. Kids always do. You're smiling at your phone, she said one night, legs swinging as she sat on the kitchen counter. Am I? Evan replied, trying to sound casual. Yep, she said. Is it the cop lady? He froze. How do you even, you smile different, she shrugged. Like when Uncle Mike sends memes. That one hurt more than it should have. A few weeks later, Emily asked if she could come over. Not to stay, not for dinner, just to say hi. 10 minutes. Evan wrestled with that decision for 2 days straight. Finally, he said yes. She showed up with a small paper bag. I brought cookies, she said. Store-bought. I don't bake. Respectable, Evan said. Lily peeked around the corner. It's her. Emily crouched down. Hey again. You came to our house, Lily said, impressed. Is that okay? Lily nodded seriously. Daddy doesn't like surprises. But he said yes. Evan sighed. Traitor. They sat in the living room. Lily talked nonstop. School, teeth, unicorns. Emily listened like every word mattered. Evan watched from the doorway, heart in his throat. This was the risk. When Emily finally stood to leave, Lily hugged her without asking permission. Emily stiffened, then hugged back carefully. In the car later, Emily cried. She hated that. But she did. Evan texted her, She doesn't hug just anyone. Emily replied, I know. That's why I cried. A month passed. Emily was offered the transfer again. This time, she told Evan immediately. I won't take it, she said. You shouldn't do that for me, he said. I'm not, she replied. I'm doing it because I'm tired of running. That night, Evan lay awake again. But this time, it wasn't panic. It was clarity. He called her the next morning. I'm scared, he said. Me too, she replied. Come over tonight, he said. We'll tell Lily together that you're sticking around. Silence. Then a shaky breath. I won't disappear, Emily promised. Evan believed her. And that belief changed everything. Lily took the news better than either of them expected. So Emily's not leaving? She asked, sitting cross-legged on the couch, chewing on a carrot like it was a big philosophical question. Emily knelt in front of her. That's the plan. Lily nodded once. Good. I don't like when people leave. That hit both of them straight in the chest. Emily swallowed. Me neither. Life didn't suddenly turn into a movie montage. There were no dramatic speeches, no perfect endings tied up with a bow. There were awkward breakfasts, Emily burning pancakes, Evan forgetting Emily hated loud alarms and waking her up at 6 a.m. anyway. There were tough conversations too, about trust, about mistakes, about what happens if things go wrong again. And yeah, there were bad days. But there were also quiet ones. Emily helping Lily with homework at the kitchen table. Evan watching them from the doorway, feeling something steady grow where chaos used to live. One night, after Lily was asleep, Evan and Emily sat on the porch, wrapped in blankets, stars faint overhead. "I still have doubts," Evan said. "I expect that," Emily replied, "but I don't feel alone anymore." She smiled softly. "Neither do I." Months passed. Emily officially turned down the transfer. Again. No resentment, no second guessing. She chose them. And that mattered more than anything she could have said. One evening, Lily handed Evan a crumpled piece of paper. "I made a family picture," she said. "It was messy. Stick figures, 3 of them holding hands." Evan blinked hard. "Who's this?" Lily pointed. "You, me, Emily." Emily covered her mouth. Evan felt his throat tighten. "Kiddo, you didn't have to." "I wanted to," Lily said simply. Later that night, Emily cried again. This time, Evan held her without fear. "This doesn't erase the past," he said. "I know," she whispered, "but it gives us a future." That was enough. Not perfect, not easy, just real. And for the first time in a long damn time, Evan felt like he wasn't surviving anymore. He was living.